morning. No, not as good as the last time. Have you guys ever been in a room with somebody who literally just has one opinion and it's like their way, no way? It's like you're talking to someone, it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you have no idea, whether it be with relationships. I was thinking like sports teams, like I am a huge baseball fan. And when I talk to people who don't like baseball, I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? You like football? And it's just like they have no interest in trying to learn about baseball. They like the Angels, for that matter. So it's like, you know that they don't like baseball. I just feel as though in situations like that, you just have to realize that people aren't going to change. And so today, the quote that I'm going to be talking to you guys about says, "Beware of a man of one book." And interpreting that, I would say that guys especially, because I feel like girls are a little more complex thinking-wise, and they think about things in different perspectives, whereas guys are just like, the sky's blue. It's like, no, girls are like, no, it's green, there's clouds, it's a little bit white. With that being said, I'm going to give a little bit of advice on how to go about handling people who are so one-sided. I would say listen instead of talking. Just stand there, listen to what they have to say before you tell them they're like completely wrong, even though you might be thinking like, okay, you're an idiot, you have no idea what you're talking about. Along with that, I would say give your perspective after theirs, because if they're gonna tell you you're wrong anyway, why stand there and explain your thoughts on something if they're just gonna say no, like my way's right, you're wrong. An example too, have you ever been driving with a guy and they're just like, no, like it's left, it's not right, it's left? No? Nobody? And like you're like, no dude, it's right, just turn right, and you end up like in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, you should have just listened to me, but no, they think they're friggin' Dora the Explorer. But that's just one example of men with you. Men who literally read one book, literally. To prevent that, as I was saying, I just feel as though you should talk in like a really kind manner. Maybe like flip your hair a little, just be like, come on, maybe if you just turn right, like we would get this a little bit faster, you know? Maybe like a wink or something, I don't know. But when talking to girls, like girls talking to girls, you're not gonna get anywhere if you guys are just thinking about one thing. Because girls go off about like the weirdest things. Like I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about politics, and I kind of zone out with that because I don't like arguing. I'm really non-confrontational. But she was going off, and I didn't hear her, and I was like, what? And she literally kept going off. I was like, I didn't even disagree. Relax. Like, it's fine. But to conclude this long speech about literally nothing, I would say that for people who you know are really closed-minded, just listen before you talk and accept what they have to say and just move on. Thank you.
So what you saying, Olivia? Is you always right?
Always.
Oh, I do it. Me and you argue all the time, man. You say you always right. I think I'm always right. You always argue.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. That's not.
All right, well, the rhetorical question about a person that you have at the beginning is fine, and I like the way you kind of lead into the topic. Your interpretation of it is okay. I think it doesn't stay as specific as you had it in the beginning of the speech. It kind of wanders off a little bit while you're developing the content. So that was a little bit of a disappointment after a nice setup. But you did a nice job when it came to speaking to the audience. You have several things that you're doing really well. You use your voice really well, you project well, there's nice inflection, and although sometimes you say things that don't reflect much confidence, if we're just listening to your voice, you're projecting a lot of confidence. So I think that's a little bit inconsistent. Like we said, sometimes we send messages non-verbally that are opposite from the verbal message. Now in this particular case, it works out in your favor because the non-verbal messages are so much more confident than the verbal ones are. The maybe the two things that I think are problematic about your delivery, gestures and your feet. Your feet never seem to settle down. You're not moving constantly, but you never seem like you've gotten comfortable and this is the spot that I'm going to speak from. And once in a while you just kind of cross your feet a little bit and that looks awkward. The other thing is you've got a good grip on yourself. I mean, you grab your wrist, you hold on your hand, it's not going anyplace, and you make sure that it's not going anyplace by holding on to it. And instead of it being a naturalistic gesture, it looks a little, that's like where your anxiety's coming out. It's in your hands, not in your voice, not in your facial expressions. Like I said, you had very good eye contact. All right, and it was maybe a little patronizing to your male audience, but that's okay. You know, we can be patronized a bit once in a while.